We are back on Inside Politics. Our guest today, Nashville Congressman Jim Cooper. Congressman, we talked a lot in the last segment about the various committees and subcommittees that you serve on. But now that the Democrats are back in control, why aren't you a chairman of a committee instead of just chairman of a subcommittee? Would you be in better shape if you had supported Nancy Pelosi for Speaker over the years? Are you being punished a little bit or held back because of that?
No, it's all by seniority, and there are people, 25 people in Congress who've been there longer than I have.
But there are people who, you've served more than one term or one stretch for parts of Tennessee. You had a term also a little bit to the east of here, so does that still count? Do you get cumulative seniority or just for the time you spend?
It does count, and it's all been fair and square. Now, it is true I haven't supported Pelosi for leader for about 8 years now. I think the party needs a change. I think there are other good and qualified people. She's a fine person, but she's already had a historic tenure, and I think the party needs rejuvenation.
Are you comfortable with the sort of term limits that she's now put on leadership going forward in the future?
Well, she said she would consider retiring when she's 83 or 84 years old. That's quite a term limit. But I'm excited about the new young people in the party, the diverse people, the new voices from all over America that are there.
Some of them are on your committees.
Absolutely. And that's good because you need continual refreshment.
As far as the Speaker, she came out on top, most people think, in her first battle with Trump over the initial shutdown. He actually seemed to capitulate and come back on the Democrats' term. Did that surprise you in terms of her ability? It seemed to surprise a lot of people on the Republican side, and for that matter, in your own party, about how well she came out of that head-on-head match.
Well, the key mistake was made by the president. He embraced the shutdown before it had even started. That was a big mistake. No president has ever won by shutting down the government.
One issue that has hung over Washington almost since President Trump came into office, and that's been the Russian investigation headed by Robert Mueller, particularly looking at Russian interference in our elections in 2016 and now in 2018, and some speculation about 2020 as well. Several people within the Trump administration and close to him during the campaign have pled guilty. They've become cooperating witnesses. They've even had prison sentences given to them at this point. There seems to be more to come, although no smoking gun yet directly at the president. Where do you see that probe right now?
No one knows. The Mueller operation has not had the leaks that you've seen with other operations.
Do you think it's close to being over? The acting attorney general said the other day he thought it was in its final days. Do you think that's right?
I hope it's nearly over, and I do think that the American people should see it because we should know about our government. Government should be transparent.
In that regard, do you think, given the Justice Department's guidelines, that a president can be subpoenaed? Can he be indicted? Can he be prosecuted on a criminal case?
Well, I believe that nobody in America is above the law. You don't want to hamstring a president while he's trying to lead the country, but nobody is above the law.
But is it more likely that if this is going to be resolved one way or the other, it'll be resolved with Congress deciding whether to pursue impeachment rather than some criminal case that the president has to defend in court, at least while he's in office?
No one knows the outcome. All we know is so far a number of people very, very close to the president, like Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, General Flynn, folks like that, have been indicted or pled guilty. And it is really a shocking number of folks very close to the president who seem to be criminals.
You seem to have said in the past that you want to see what the Mueller probe said before you are ready to commit one way or the other about what Washington or what the Congress ought to do. Is that still the way you feel about it now?
That is, because I really don't trust the congressional investigations. When you have politicians investigating politicians, that doesn't really persuade me. But Mueller seems to be a straight arrow. He's a lifelong Republican. He seems to be conducting an honorable and thorough investigation, so let's see what he finds. What
do you think the certainty is that the Mueller probe will be first released even to members of Congress?
Well, I think it has to be, by law, released to members of Congress.
Would it be put under seal for members of Congress to be able to talk about what they find out?
Well, many of my colleagues, they leak like a sieve. So if it comes to Congress, I think we'll find out about it.
What about releasing it to the public? Do you think the public has a right to know what this investigation says when it comes down to it's done, it's been given to the Attorney General, something has to be done?
I do think the public has a right to know.
Given all the issues that we've discussed today outside of war, can you remember a time that there's been more tension, more division, more discord and uncertainty in our country?
I can't remember such a time. You'd have to go back at least to the McCarthy era in the 1950s before you had such turmoil. I'm deeply worried.
Isn't that exactly what the Russians want to do, and they're trying to start their stuff in 2016, create this kind of discord, turmoil, and uncertainty?
We have to realize that they're influential both on the left and on the right. They love stirring up stuff, And we're uniquely vulnerable because we're an open society. If you've seen the TV show The Americans, that'll curl your hair, because we are wide open and vulnerable to foreign penetration.
Members of Congress serve 2-year terms. They're always running for re-election, it seems, but you took a little unusual step back in January announcing you're going to go ahead and run for re-election in 2020. Why did you announce early?
Well, there's a lot of speculation with Lamar Alexander choosing to retire that I might try to do the same thing, and I'm in it for the long haul as long as the good voters of Middle Tennessee will have me.
So at the end of it, do you think the Democrats have a good chance in 2020, or will a third party create a problem, or the number of candidates they've got in the race create a problem?
I've never really believed about third parties. Usually they're a spoiler and they hurt both parties.
Congressman Cooper, thank you so much. Good luck. You've got more craziness, I'm sure, to deal with when you get back to
Thank
Washington.
you, Pat. Appreciate it. Thank you
for coming. And thank you for coming and watching Inside Politics this week. We'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get enough politics in the meantime, go to the News Channel 5 website. You'll find my Capitol View commentary there. There's a commentary posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.